Hi everyone, so here is a quick recap of what we've learned so far and what you should be practicing. So first of all, remember our finger numbers, they start with our thumbs. This is finger number 1, finger number 2, finger number 3, 4, and 5. Remember they're mirrored. So finger number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Remember we learned how to find the letter names of the white keys on the piano. It's just like the alphabet. Remember how we find A. Here's a group of 3 black keys. It's always in the middle of those. Here's A. Here's another group of 3 black keys. Here's another A. Here's another group of 3 black keys. And remember the A's right here. Here's another group of 3. And the A's right here. Group of 3 and the A's right here. Of course, if we know how to find A, it's just like our alphabet. The next one is B, C, D, E, F, G. And there's no H, remember that. It starts over with an A. So here's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, and for one of the pieces that we were practicing, this is Summer Night. This is on page 15. And if you look on the top right of the page, they actually give you a little helpful diagram right here. Our H always stands for right hand. And the first letter name they give you is E. And it says right hand RH, finger number 2 on E. So remember, here's my right hand, finger number 2. And because we know how to find A, here's A, we can find E. A, B, C, D, here's E. Remember, after we find E, finger number 2 on E, I want you to make sure every other finger has their place on a key. It has its own home. So here's where we're going to play. So finger number 2 on E. If my finger number 2 is on E, try to remember all the rest of the letter names that will be on your finger. Sometimes I find it helpful to kind of just write it down, especially in the beginning when you're trying to get used to those finger numbers. The letter names. So E, and then after that would be F, G, A, B, right? If E is 2, F, G, A, E, F, G, A. Oops, we don't have 6 fingers. And then to the left would be D, which would be to the left of E. So the first few letter names they give you are E, F, G, A. So E, F, G, A, E, F, G, and A. And if you notice, the notes are also going up on the page. And remember, if they go up, the notes are getting higher. And when we go higher, we're going to the right of the piano. Remember that piano, the right side is the high notes, and the left side are the low notes. So as we move up on the page, as the notes move up, then we move to the right on the piano. As they go down, we move to the left. So the motion would be up, down, then down, up, down, up. Okay, so here's finger number E, finger number 2 on E, and I will play the first line. E, F, G, A, G, F, E. We give you that finger number 1 on D. D, E, F, G, F, E, D. Now, if the letter names get confusing for you, it's totally fine. Remember to always write your finger numbers. So I would literally just go in and write all the finger numbers here. 3. It goes up from third finger and it moves up to the right, so that would be finger number 4. Moves up to finger number 5. Moves down from finger number 5 would be finger number 4. Then moves down to the left, right, because it's moving downwards. That would be finger number 3. Then going down one more time, that would be finger number 2. And so on. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2. That was the first 2 measures. Okay. Also, remember we were trying to make sure, oopsies. Also, remember we were trying to make sure we count these half notes. Remember, these are quarter notes. They have one beat each. But when we get to the half note, that looks like the note that's not colored in, we're going to count 2 when we get there. Here's another half note. We're going to count 2. Okay, let me play through this entire first line with the counting, and then you can practice the rest of this piece. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay, and then so on. Okay, if you look at the rest of this piece, it keeps going, and towards the bottom, just a reminder, there's a box with 1 and there's another box with a 2. Remember, we learned that this sign is called a repeat sign. It means that you repeat the music, you go back to the beginning, and you play one more time. Now, when you see the 1 and the 2, this is called a first ending and a second ending. So when you play, you play the first ending, and then you repeat. But the second time, you do not play the first ending. You skip it, and you jump to number 2, and that's how you would end. So one more time, you would play from the beginning until you get to the first ending. You play to the first ending, then you repeat, and the second time you jump to the second ending, and that's how you would end the piece. Okay. Another thing that we were focusing on this week, there are some other pieces here that you can practice on your own. Let's see. Here is page 24, and they give you a little technique exercise. Technique is always the word for exercises or building finger strength or technical, not necessarily a song or a piece. So this one has you play these notes in a pattern going up on the piano. So let's first find our finger numbers. So it starts on G, finger number 1, right hand on G. So A, B, C, D, E, F, and here's G. So finger number 1 on G. And then I'm making sure the rest of my fingers have a home. And once I know that that's G, I can also figure out the rest of these letter names. Here's G. The next one would be A, B, C, and D. Of course, we can also see that the notes are moving up on the page, which means we are going to the right. So the finger numbers here would be 1. We're moving to the right to A, finger number 2, 3, 4, and 5, all the way to the D. Because we know 1, 2, 3, because we know B is 3, then we know this B is also going to be 3, and the G is going to be 1. So you can go ahead and write that in for now. It's totally fine. 3, 4, 5, 3, 1. Okay, so here's finger number 1 on G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1. So that was the first 2 measures. Now, one more time with the letter names. G, A, B, C, D, E, G. Then remember, this sign is called a rest. We don't play anything on that rest. It's silence. And the next part is exactly the same pattern, but you're just moving your hand up to A, doing the same pattern. And then let's try on this, starting right here on A. Here's A. A, B, C, D, E, C, A. And then you will keep going through all of them. For this one, it's really important that you say the letter names out loud. And along those lines, we also practiced our 5-finger patterns. We introduced that last class. And it is the same pattern, almost exactly the same pattern. But we start on C, A, B, C. Finger number 1 on C. And we're going to add our left hand. Finger number 5 on C. So we have C on the right hand here and C on the left here. And it's towards the bottom on the left side of our hand. So we actually call this C position. And the 5-finger exercise that we learned last class is very similar to the one on the page, but it went, we go all the way up, we go to the right, then we go all the way back down to the left. That's the first part. So one more time. And then the second part of this exercise is we skip the notes. We go, then we skip this finger, we skip to the third, then we skip this finger, we skip to this, then going back down exactly the same way. Okay, the second part one more time, it would be skip a note, skip a note. Okay, so the first part and the second part of the 5-finger exercise together. Okay, one more time. Remember, we're going up and we're going down to the left. Then we're doing the same thing, but we're skipping up and then we're skipping down. And for this exercise, it's very important, I want you to say the letter names out loud as you play them. That way you will get much more familiar with the letter names and just the general geography of the keyboard. Okay, so I'll do a couple times with the letter names. C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C, E, G, E, C. Okay, and then remember, we're going to move one to the right and do the same thing. But now we're on D position. D, E, F, G, A, G, F, E, D, F, A, F, D. And it's going to take some time to get used to those letter names, especially going backwards, but that's what this is for. Okay, one more, we're going to go on E. E, F, G, A, E, A, G, F, E, G, B, G, E. Okay, excellent. So you will practice that exercise, and of course this page as well. This was page 24. Other than these pages, we did go over page 22, God is Good, and also page 23. And this is similar to the Ode to Joy from the first class, but it starts on a different letter name. So go ahead and practice those. I do have videos that I've already made of these two pieces, so you can check those out. Okay, and happy practicing.